Hey, Tsukiyomi here. This is going to be a little different from some of my past videos. If you remember last year, I did a list of the top 10 characters I wanted in Smash Switch, well, Smash Ultimate now. See, I wanted to get that video out a day before last year's E3, before we got any information on the game. That way there was no outside influences like already finding out that Ridley was in the game and whatnot. Yeah, I was not expecting Ridley at all. I was happy, but I even made a comment in this video saying that I didn't think it was going to happen. I wanted him, but I just didn't think it was possible. Now, before you ask, I am actually very happy with how this game's roster turned out, even though we didn't get that many characters. They were all necessary. Well, maybe except for Isabelle. That was pretty much just there for promotion for the new Animal Crossing, which actually looks pretty good. I'm not even an Animal Crossing fan, so... okay, at this point I'm rambling. I'm going to go ahead and get started with the list. It's kind of funny just how far the song I picked for this video and the actual theme song of the game, and those two are completely different.
Yes.
Oh God, there's my voice. I'm still kind of getting used to this whole speaking in videos thing.
To be honest, if my list was just composed of characters that everyone else wants, then I wouldn't have made this list.
Yeah, I tried to be really original. I didn't really want to include anyone, what people were talking about. See, I kind of had the philosophy that Sakurai was going to pick characters that no one was expecting, and if I picked like an oddball choice, I think that would more likely get in. And little did I know, everyone was coming back. And I'll get back into that more in another entry.
I like having fun with my work. Of course, I mentioned originality, and here I go putting Rex and Pyra on the list.
Oh God. I don't really agree with a lot of these entries anymore. This is just reminding me of that.
These two fall into the small subcategory of being on both my wanted list and my predictions list. It's also true that these two have been displayed on others' lists as well, but if anything, that's also the reason they aren't any higher. To place highly on this list, a character needs to combine originality with plausibility. While these two are as plausible as it gets, if only others didn't want you guys in the game, still, that plausibility sure is plausible.
See, in the span of this year, I did manage to beat the first Xenoblade Chronicles, and I really enjoyed it a lot. I never got around to X, but I did manage to pick up Xenoblade 2, and, well, sorry to the fans of that game, I didn't really enjoy it at all. I stopped playing at the 15-hour mark. Honestly, the characters were part of the reason, and I don't like Rex and Pyra anymore. I don't want them in Smash. As much as I like more Xenoblade representation, I honestly would rather have something from the first Xenoblade and X. It might be a bit redundant, but I really don't like any of the characters in 2.
You can still knock her out, which limits Rex's attacks, much akin to Rosalina and Luma. However, since Pyra's attacks are probably going to be devastating, she'll have to sit out until Rex loses his stock. There's a reason Rosalina is so hated in Smash.
Contrary to my opinion of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I do actually still really like Sin and Punishment Star Successor. I do think more people should play it. Issa is someone that I still want, but I know we're not getting him right now, because considering the third-party DLC situation. Also, Spirits, I'm convinced that they deconfirmed characters, but it's still a bit up in the air right now.
Pikachu. No matter the incarnation, it just always turns out to be so cute. I mean, just look at the likes of Pachirisu. And oh my god, I want one.
Honestly, I'm still not sure how well that quote-unquote joke was delivered. It's better than I initially thought it was. Yeah, I want one.
Mimikyu is a bit far-fetched, as there are Pokemon in Gen 7 that would be a better fit for Smash, much like Decidueye. And they may end up just making Mimikyu a Pokeball, but I could dream.
What do you know? They did make him a Pokeball. I was kind of expecting that. Yeah, if Mimikyu was a Pikachu clone, or in this case, Echo Fighter, that wouldn't work. That would have just been like a cop-out. Instead, they bring Pichu back, and they don't make him suck. He's exactly as he should be right now, especially with the 3.1.0 update. Though I was a bit surprised that the Gen 7 rep was Incineroar. At first I thought, really? Why not Decidueye? His moveset would have been more interesting. Then you see what his moveset's like, and I was fully convinced right there.
Since I'd like to see variation between two Shadow Sneaks. Hey Sakurai, you picked the wrong Dark clone.
Well, here we are, the only newcomer that I actually guessed. Yeah, the Smash 4 era was really not a good time for Metroid, and Metroid fans especially. Well, thank God we got Samus Returns.
I mean, seriously,
that game was really
Metroid
good.
Needed a new
I was
rep,
genuinely
surprised.
surprised.
Possibilities. Case in point, Ridley. This was also around the time where Metroid was believed to have been dead. Thankfully, with Metroid Prime 4 on the horizon, us Metroid fans no longer have to worry. But in all seriousness, Metroid needs better representation than just Samus with the power suit and Samus without. Out of all the possible reps they could add, Dark Samus seems to work the best. She's not as vague as Rundus, and she's not too big like Ridley. I know.
Oh, what am I talking about? He's not too big anymore.
She'd be nothing like Samus. Or maybe I just think Samus needs a moveset change. You know.
I still fully agree with that, actually.
Maybe she'll be a semi-clone.
Samus kind of feels like Captain Falcon with a gun. She doesn't feel like she plays from any of the Metroid games at all.
Other than that, though,
I'm
Dark Samus
still
would
a
be
little
original.
salty that the only
Some of her
newcomer I
moves
got
would
was
include her rapid
turned
fire
out to be an
shot,
Echo
her
Fighter.
self-missile,
That
which
was a bit of a
would add
shocker
extra
because
attack,
Dark Samus has
and
her own
charge shot,
moveset,
which
and
would be
the
more
developers
akin to
knew
Robin's
it.
Thoron.
They just
As
made
for
her a
Final
clone of
Smash,
Samus.
I would expect either the Metroid
Better than Dark
Prime
Pit,
or the
though.
Iwari. I'll be completely honest with you guys. I'm not big on the No More Heroes series.
That hasn't changed. I don't think No More Heroes is an overall good series. Isn't. I don't like the first game. The second game was alright. Strikes Again was just kind of meh. What killed the first game for me was well, after I beat Death Metal, his name was a cool boss. Then you go out to Santa Destroya, and it was a very bad overworld, and it just felt like padding to get to the next boss by having to work for it. That's another thing I don't get. Like, you have to work to kill somebody. Yeah, whatever. Honestly, out of all the characters on this list, I think Travis is the most likely to get in as a DLC, at least at the moment. Maybe not this wave of DLC. There's gotta be more if Sakurai wants this game to last 10 years, as he so puts it. I think it's only a matter of time before he gets in, because, like, well, Suda51 wants him in the game, and so do a lot of other people. But when the developer wants the character in the game, Sakurai's most likely going to put him in the game, because, well, look what happened with Snake. I heard rumors, and I believe they are true, that Hideo Kojima wanted Snake in Melee, but it was a little late. Sakurai was like, promise you, I'll put him in next game, and they did. And now even he's back.
gosh, I hate myself.
And I still hate myself for this entry. I don't agree with it anymore. It was a good idea on well, cardboard, not paper. But we're all out of cardboard now. The game's already out. I'm honestly just gonna skip right through this. I really don't have anything to say past that. Nothing.
You know, if 12-year-old me saw the lineup for Smash 4, he probably would have cried since a certain someone was not in the game. If I were to make this list upon the announcement of Smash 4, this next character would be my number 1. And so, the character that passed me once in Smash Bros. More than any other...
Here's the biggest heartbreaker of them all. Yes, my childhood dream character is still an assist trophy, and this just baffles me. I thought he was pretty much guaranteed. If only that damn Grinch leak was real. I wish it were.
I'll admit, it's hard to vouch for Shadow as there has yet to be a second character from the same third-party series in Smash Bros. However, that does not change the fact that so many Sonic characters would work in Smash Bros. As a matter of fact, this entry was close between Dr. Eggman and Shadow. After thinking about it,
See, I probably would have included Dr. Eggman instead of Shadow if I didn't want Shadow in since Sonic was announced. He would have like a Bowser Jr. Swiss Army Knife-esque moveset, and I think the game could use more of those. I think Bowser Jr. was one of, if not the best newcomer in Smash 4. Well, besides Shulk, of course. Still.
As in, it requires time to charge. The Chaos Control would be a teleporting recovery, as I really don't want another Witch Time. While I was unsure at first what its final smash would be, I think I finally found my answer. At first I was thinking Super Shadow, but then I conjured up something even cooler. Basically, it would be one of those final smashes that requires contact to initiate a cutscene. The cutscene in question has the victims found in a field where they
I do seriously miss the Space Colony arc and Sonic Adventure 2's story to begin with. I know a lot of people give it crap for some questionable writing decisions and like one or two plot holes, but I thought the story as a whole was just straight up epic in every way. That was enough for me to enjoy it back then, and I still like it a lot now. Well, here we go. Still the one character that probably won't make it in, but...
Going from the character I originally wanted in Smash Bros. To arguably the most far-fetched choice I've ever had. This next character has very little relevance to Smash Bros. Or even Nintendo.
And, well, this joke here, I know for a fact it did not hit its mark. There are other so many other characters that could shoot his way in. Honestly, if a Danganronpa character were to get in, it would be Monokuma, not Hajime. Hajime would be cool though, because Hajime is like the man. But it would still definitely be Monokuma. Like, spoilers, he's kind of the villain of the games, but like, he is kind of the mascot character, if you will. Though I still see this as a very slim possibility, mainly because a Danganronpa game has not appeared on a Nintendo console, which every other character has that in common that's in the game. Yes, even Joker and Cloud, somewhat. Cloud's never really appeared on a Nintendo console, but the series he represents was really big on Nintendo to begin with, so yeah, Cloud's like the mascot of Final Fantasy, so like, who else would they pick? Like the character from the first game? I don't know. Now, Joker, on the other hand, well, Persona on 3DS, and also Persona before this was never really big on Nintendo, but Shin Megami Tensei was. If I had to guess why I said meat on the bone instead of the bone skewer thing, it's probably because I have that whole situation ingrained in my memory. I put it in wrong the first couple of times. Meat on bone. I probably screwed that up bigger than anyone's ever screwed that up. I don't think I've ever seen
if you
anyone
couldn't
else
tell, I'm
that
just
did
tossing
meat
out
on
ideas.
bone.
But that only proves
If you
my
don't
point.
know what I'm talking about,
Hajime would require the
well,
full
let
extent
that
of
be
the
encouragement to
imagination
play
at
these
work.
games.
With that, it probably is a lot to ask from Nintendo and HAL, but it's not as unlikely as you might think. As a matter of fact, Chunsoft developed the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games. This gives Hajime a slim chance that I honestly won't be angry with if it isn't followed through, but if this were to happen, just wow. Oh, Fire Emblem. If I could say there's any series I'm addicted to, it's this one.
And I'm still addicted to it, and in around 2017, it was kind of a very unhealthy addiction. After beating Awakening, I played Fire Emblem Fates, and I was just hooked on Fire Emblem. Got the GBA games, I've played almost every single game released in this overseas. Now, Lyn. Honestly, I wasn't as heartbroken over this as you might think, actually. Yes, I wanted Lyn, and I still think it would be cool. But the reason I said that I wanted Lyn, it was honestly under the assumption that they were going to cut characters. But they didn't. Like, if they were going to cut characters, I knew for a fact that some of the Fire Emblem characters were going to go. Lucina and Roy especially, because they're clones. And Lyn would have filled in right there for the Game Boy Advance era, because she does represent it better than Roy does. Roy was, even though Lyn was only in one game, Lyn was a lot of our first Fire Emblem units that we used. Well, not me. I started with Awakening back 2016 late. Here come the elitists. Yeah, she has other things going for her, other than just being your run-of-the-mill sword fighter. And that's actually another thing. I don't mind how many sword characters we have. It's really not down to how many sword characters we have. It's not the weapon, it's how you use it. Like, look at Shulk. He's a sword fighter, but he ain't like any of the others. Same with like Robin and, well, there is definitely a clear differentiation between Link and Roy. Those two are like nothing alike. They don't play anything alike. It's a misconception. It's not sword fighter, it's weapon based fighter. Like, that's why I don't think Bandana Waddle Dee will get in, because like, sure, it's a spear, not a sword, but he would just be flinging a spear around. That's not interesting. Like, compared to other Kirby characters that we could get, like Daroach, or hell, even Magolor has kind of a established moveset, and Star Allies don't really like that game either. Sorry. Not to mention other sword fighters that could have gotten in, should have gotten in. Isaac from Golden Sun, that he should have been in the game. He would be really unique as well. And that's why they decided to put in like the hero from Dragon Quest. Like, the developers don't care about the amount of sword fighters. Again, it's how you use the weapon, not the weapon itself. Hey Jonathan, if you're watching this video, I'm really sorry about that. About this. That was kind of aimed at you. You don't even want Sora in the game, and you're a Kingdom Hearts fan. Anyway, nightmare. I still have high hopes for this character to get in. I think he's the next character that's going to be announced. Call me crazy. I am crazy. Yeah, the next character may actually get announced at EVO this year, and Soul Calibur's there. It's a possibility. Not to mention, I think Namco needs more representation than just Pac-Man. It's a bit unfair that they haven't, because they co-developed 2 of the games and they only got like 1 character. And not to mention, Namco has like so many characters to pick from. Like Oliver from Ni no Kuni, Lloyd from Tales of Symphonia, and my favorite, or my second favorite, I would like a Souls representation. I feel like Dark Souls has actually made its mark on the video game industry. And honestly, I'd have to say that my second most wanted character right now is Knight Artorias from Dark Souls. Yeah, I'm kind of a Namco fan at this point. Nightmare falls under the same scenario as Monokuma, being the villain but also the mascot. And for those of you wondering, I'd have to say that my second favorite fighting game besides Smash Ultimate right now is Soul Calibur 6. I really enjoy Soul Calibur, even though I'm not really that good at it. I like playing it, and I definitely like playing around with the character creator, which admittedly could be better, but like for what it is, I have been able to make a lot of my favorite characters with it.
Birds with one stone with his inclusion. So Sakurai, make this one happen. It just makes too much sense not to happen. Or maybe I just really want Nightmare in Smash. Maybe that'll do the trick. Regardless of who makes it in or not, I'll still be buying Smash for Switch. I am very much looking forward to this next installment, if this countdown was any hint of that. Though, if any of these characters gets in, I wouldn't know what to do with myself. Well, maybe except for Rex and Pyra, because they're basically a shoo-in.
Yeah, no, Rex and Pyra was definitely not a shoo-in. Also, I did find out that they made Rex I think they made him into like a Mii costume or something. I don't know what they did. If I had played Xenoblade 2 before I saw that, I actually would have been extremely relieved. They are not a shoo-in. Alright, this should about wrap this up. I hope you were able to put up with my constant stuttering. And yeah, I'm definitely still looking forward to the last two DLC fighters. Even if it isn't Nightmare, what are you going to do? I have been pretty pleased with what they've done so far. Like, I didn't ask for any of the characters so far, but I was extremely happy with all of them. Still mostly for Joker. I was actually playing Persona 5, like a little bit of Persona 5 before I saw that. But then once I saw that, I had to play it. Well, alright. You guys should probably check out some of my other videos. Like, probably check out this video without all my stuttering. And especially check out my new top 15 Sonic vocal songs. I'm really proud of how that turned out. That's a video I've probably always wanted to make in that style. I'm not too sure what my next video is going to be, but I will be making it soon. Okay, one more thing before I go. I do more than top 10 list. I'd like to start doing reviews and battle reviews where I compare two games. And I'm going to launch a Patreon soon, so be sure to stay tuned. All right. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.